Now, depending on what context you speak in or who you're speaking to, whether it's a developer or a database administrator or a software developer, the terms will change when you're referring to the same thing. Here, I'm talking to you about this products entity. I want to clarify some terms, some things that are very obvious to you. For example, in this case, the products entity is the table, as I mentioned to you before. Tables and entities are, well, they mean the same thing. Also, if you take a look at the product entity, you'll notice that I have a row. And each row in this case is made up of these columns. So for example, product ID is a column, name is a column, description is a column, and price is a column. I want to reiterate something as well that I think I want you to be sure of. Keep in mind that we start with a database at the top. Underneath that, we have tables. And underneath the tables, we have columns. Okay. There are, different naming conventions that follow these exact terms. The database, tables, and columns can be said differently, but mean the same thing. As you already know, products can also be referred to as an entity. Product ID is, a column, but it can also be referred to as a field. Okay? It can also be referred to as a field. In addition to a field, it can also be referred to as an attribute. So to say column or field or attribute really means the same thing. It just depends on who you're speaking to. Also, a row. A row is also referred to as a record. So rows and records mean the same thing. And depending on who you speak with and under what context, records can also be referred to as tuples. Yes. So product ID is a column, it's a field. Products is a table, it's an entity. A row is a record or a tuple. Product ID is a column, a field, an attribute. Let me take this one step further because I'm having too much fun with this. If you speak with a developer, they may tell you that products is a class because that's how they reference it in their code. So they will say the products class. They will also say that each row in this class is referred to as an instance of the product. And one instance is going to contain X number of attributes, and those attributes are the fields. So product ID is an attribute of the products class. Name is an attribute of the products class. Description is an attribute of the products class. Price is an attribute of the products class. They all mean the same thing. You just have to remember who you're speaking with and for what purpose. So I wanted to clarify those things. Specifically, what I wanted to clarify is that tables, entities, as well as classes may mean the same thing. Column, field, and attribute may mean the same thing. In addition, row, record, and instance may mean the same thing. Keep that in mind.